What's going on, my friends? It's Turgon the Wise bringing a new video to you today. And today is Season 17 recap time. Looking forward to this video. We will be heading into Bag End tonight in about 12 hours or so. And let's go to the map and get this party started. And there you have it. The majority of the map is owned by the Yudz Iron Legacy Kingdom. We like to go by the Legacy. If you don't know us and you're not friends with us on Discord, many members of Yudz have an avatar of a Lego person because we like Legos. We're children, but we like to have fun. At any rate, so this Nurple Purple Kingdom is all iron and Utes. And over in the Blue Kingdom here is Elv and Unit. They're a smaller, younger team, and we really didn't have anything to do with anything that happened west of the Misty Mountains pretty much all season. So, from a recap perspective, we started up in the Iron Hills here, and if you watch some of my earlier videos on the season, you will recall that I mentioned that these passes here, some of these passes, unlock in Chapter 4. These level 7 passes unlock in Chapter 4, right? Now, hold on. Go to the thing. There it is, level 7 pass. Cool. So now these other passes over here, which we never bothered to take because there was no one really in Rune that was going to fight us. These level 8 passes, they unlock around level 10. I'm sorry, day 10. Uh, Similarly, you can come down here and it's the same for this pass from Ashen Plains into Mordor. And this pass over here, I believe, is also a 7 pass. So these are all unlocked after like the first 10 days of the season. In order to get into the ring regions like the Undeeps, uh, Southern Anduin Vale, Dol Guldur, Lorien, all of the core kind of regions, these level 9 passes unlock around day 17. So the way that the new mechanics with these passes unlocking on this time structure really kind of locks you away. So we started up in the Iron Hills, and by day 5, we were really clamoring to get out and into North Rovanian here. And we had some skirmishes in Central Mirkwood with our partners Iron before we became partners. Now, just to create some clarity and expectation, we did not form a kingdom with our partner until like maybe like a week ago. We spent the whole season basically apart because there really was not any meaningful competition on this server against us at all. So we fought our partner arguably maybe not more, but to a greater, like the greatest fighting intensity we experienced was against our partner. There was really no organized fight by other teams against us, and I'll get a little bit more into that. But we came out of Iron Hills after 5 days. We fought in here for a little bit while we waited for the 10-day passes to open up. We made our way down into Ashen Plains, Withered Gardens, Ashen Plains, East Bite, all that. And then the moment that this pass unlocked, we were all over that like butter on bread. And the only really meaningful PvP we had against someone other than Iron occurred for about 10 hours between these two passes. So when the season started, RUSC, which now goes by Null on this server, they spawned in um, Gorgoroth in the Dark Lands in Mordor. And so they had taken this. However, by the time we got down here, 1T and Vsop had basically taken over. And we did not encounter really any RUSC at all when we got down here. The fighting between these two passes was pretty strictly between Yudz, 1T, and Vsop. There was a little bit of fighting, like some RUSC people were kind of out here fighting KOTV, and down into the south, they kind of just retreated. And I hear different stories. There are some people I talk to from VSOP who tell me that they were thinking about combining the three teams into two teams and making a kingdom so that they could fight us, but that never happened. And then I talked to the leader of our USC who says they couldn't really fight us all season because they were too busy fighting 1T and VSOP. So I don't know what the truth is. All I know is that really the only meaningful PvP that happened against anyone other than Iron happened for about 10 or 15 hours between these passes. We pushed them through and we pushed over to Barad Door. We came up into Daggerlad while we took Gorgoroth and started moving towards these other regions in here. We really left the east kind of alone for a while until we had captured enough, like completed enough other objectives that we could just kind of come back and fill in these gaps. Like I said, there was really no one to fight there. There was a little bit of some fighting over around Minas Tirith between 1T VSOP and us, but no large scale battle pins really ever occurred anywhere in this area other than maybe a red pin for a little bit between those two passes over here, like I said. And that was basically it. After that, we just kind of spread across southern Rovanian and into Minas Tirith and down into um, more of the Darklands. At one point, we had captured Horondor as well as near Harad. Those got recaptured by 1T or VSOP. Let me just check this one to make sure that I'm speaking intelligently. And they took this one too, but then we took it back again like the last couple of days before the season ended. And ultimately, Guard had set up in Rohan, and we pushed them out. We pushed everyone out. Everything east of the Misty Mountains was pretty much ours, other than some of these regions up here that Iron spawned in Ered Mithrin. They took Gundabad and Upper Anduin Vale and these regions and then spread into the west. And they mostly interacted with these teams out in the west. We did not really have any interactions with them at all. Then Iron came all the way down here. And so we all kind of settled in this area to end the season. There was some other wars that happened on around chapter 17 when those passes all opened. A little bit after that, we staged a little bit of a fight, like a ring war, up. I don't know why it brought me all the way down here. I guess my cursor was down there. Sorry. So we had a little bit of a ring war over here where there was some fighting up in here in the Lorien, and there was a pretty nice battle pin up somewhere around here in this pass. From Eregion into Lorien. I think 8 million dead was the battle pin that was there. That was the highest battle pin I saw anywhere all season between us and Iron. And after that, we took Dol Guldur, and it was pretty much chillin' time after that. So that was around day 24. Day 25, we took DG. And for the last 29 days, we have been just waiting to be done. There was some fighting, not really intense fighting, happening over in Land of Five Streams because we were in VSOP and 1T spawn region. We had already taken our USCs. I had explained what happened with them over here from our perspective and their perspective. And there was a little bit of some fighting that was happening on and off, but no big battle pins. There was never any like large scale organized fights between VSOP 1T, and Yudz. Ironhead came over here and beat them up a little bit before we spread this far. We kind of stopped at Minas Tirith for quite a while. And then somewhere between, like, I want to say day 30 and day 45, we started making some pushes in this area, like towards this direction. We kind of finished up with the Darklands and then started pushing a little bit more outwards. And Iron had been in this area, and they kind of pushed a little bit back, but we ended up coming through and taking kind of all this stuff, and they would pop up and fight us here and there and kind of slow and delay us. But like I said, nothing really on a large scale or organized. So it was not a terribly exciting season, but we had stuff to do and we did stuff, and it wasn't all terribly bad. But, we've had more exciting seasons to be sure. Last season um, was like quadruple the amount of PvP that we had this season. To be perfectly honest, like I didn't capture any statistics this season because just there was no meaningful competition to really try to form any kind of quantitative data around. So here's the affluence board. Kevin's Ozzy, number 1 and 2. Captain Niton, number 3, leading the way for Yudz. Farming crew. Jax Callie ended up with Iron. Lost and Unit, top 2 teams here, represented in the top 10 on the personal affluence board. From a merit perspective, the top merit was with Iron. Iron had a lot more fights out in the west and in the south than we really got. CLF and Gollum still managed to pull out some good merit scores, even though for the majority of the season people pretty much ran from us. But I guess like when you only see one person, they're more inclined to fight. CLF maybe was in one area, Gollum another, and so they got some pretty good merit. Kevin's connector. So I'll just run down here like the top 50, let's say. I ended up at 47th. I'm just happy to have gotten 2.5 million merit this season. Wow, 21, nice. Got all the Lana, Escanor, Tartar, Solomon. Yeah, some null people up here. Kyle, Tasks, Anor, DP, Suna, Lawlessness, and Pride ended up at 50 actually. Nice. From a fellowship perspective, here's the affluence board. Like I talked about earlier, it was pretty much all Yudz and Iron all season. Unit coming in 3, Null number 4, Guard 5, Elf 6, VSOP and 1T 7 and 8, KOTV and XELM round out your top 10. And you can see the disparity between 10 at 1.1 million and 1 at 4.3 million is vast. Season points, I mean, this is very much similar to the merit totals, so none of this should really surprise you. The only real differentiator here is things like siege damage done during sieges of initial keeps when they are neutral. So not a whole lot of variation between this and the merit board ultimately. A little bit though, a little bit. I'm 37th as opposed to 47th. I try to participate as much as I can. So that kind of rounds out, your top 50, your top folks. Commanders, I don't really love this menu as I've talked about several times, but it can be interesting when you're in an intense season and you're like you want to study somebody else's commanders. You can come here and check them out. So that really, all in all, in a nutshell, is your season um, recap. Let's check out the season tab here. So we'll be heading to Bag End later tonight. I wanted to make sure I got this video done before I go to work so that I don't miss it tonight because I tend to get lost during the evenings with my wonderful 5-year-old son. And, got to keep your priorities in order, real life versus game. I probably should have done this last night, but um I got busy playing TD Bloon 6 with my wife in all complete honesty, and it was fun. Here's just a quick look at my commanders. No level 50s this season. And, we'll be making adjustments for the meta. Next season should be a very exciting season. We will be in a showdown. It's going to be Order and Aces as one kingdom, and Yudz will be partners again with Iron. However, Iron, I believe this has been announced across the board, but I believe Iron and a team called Lame will be merging, and Iron will actually be no more, sadly, as this is not totally unexpected. Pride was the leader of Iron for a very, very long time. He was Iron, and he has decided to step away from the game. Much love and respect to Pride. Wishing you all the best in everything you do, brother. You're have been a treat to work with for this season. So sad to see you go, but excited for the merge between Lame and Iron, and we'll be working with Lame next season as our kingdom partner, and that should be a really, really exciting 2v2. You're going to see more videos from me as a result of having more competition, more things to talk about, and it should be a really exciting season. Just a public service announcement. If you're a team that's considering joining this server, I suggest you don't. Because we want this to be a clean 2v2. We want it to be a fair contest. We don't want any outside external interference at all in the server. So we would greatly appreciate it if you're thinking about trying to, poke your head in and be a hero or do something that you think is what you want to do, like just don't. For teams that do end up on the server with us accidentally, um, my recommendation is just to chill out somewhere away from where all of the action is going to be happening, because aces and Yudes and Order and Lame right now are arguably, aces and Yudes are probably in the top five in this game, if not the top two. And then Lame and Order are also extremely good teams, top to bottom, from 1 to 100. They're very, very good. I would say also in the top 10 NRP teams in the game. I can't speak towards role play, of course, but for non-role play, these four teams are probably, among the top in the game. There are, of course, other really, really good NRP teams out there, and a lot of them are currently in servers. Teams like Toby and Bear and um, Panda. They're all currently in season, so I wanted to make sure that I gave them some honorable mention because they're all very, very good teams. And one of these days, it would be really super to have everyone all on one big, giant mega server and see what happens. I would love to try something where there's no preseason alliances. Everyone joins the server and picks a random faction or spawn region, and we see who ends up where and let the Diplo run its course and have a real, season one like organic fight. I think that would be really interesting and neat and exciting to try. But right now, we only have the four teams getting ready for the next season. It'll be sometime in January. I'm not going to give too many details as to the when or what we will be playing. Like I said, we don't want any outside external interference at all. So we're going to be keeping this server under tight wraps. So if you had any questions about that, I hope that this helped address them for you. And just know that if you're reaching out to myself or anyone else that's involved, you're not going to get a whole lot of details out of us until after the fact, because, like I said multiple times now, we don't want any external interference. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to fighting Order and Aces. They are top notch, and we're looking forward to working again with the folks from Iron and their new partners from the Merge Lame. Good people. Have had a lot of really great interactions with them so far, and I'm excited for the season. That's everything I got for you today, folks. Let's just check out the map one last time. We don't usually see Yudz taking up this much of the map, but there just really wasn't anything else to do this season, and that's kind of the story of the season in a nutshell. So if you're one of the smaller teams that's like kind of angry about all this, then I do, sincerely apologize if you had a bad experience. It would have probably been better if all of the small teams band together, teamed up, and fought us, but there didn't seem to be any interest or central organization towards doing that, and it is what it is. So I hope that everyone over the next 2 weeks has a wonderful holiday and a happy new year for those who celebrate. I look forward to speaking with you all again. Please take good care of yourselves, stay safe, and be well. And I'll talk to you soon. Turgon the Wise signing off for season 17. Take care of yourselves. Cheers.